y'all. I'm Kelli J, a beauty mogul and serial entrepreneur. Welcome to Coffee, Tea, and Conversations with me.
So we're going to get started. We're going to delve into a lot of topics that's going on in the beauty industry today. And we're just going to talk about the state of the beauty industry from beginning to end. We have a wealth of knowledge. Crystal brings knowledge from being an agent in the beauty industry for over 20 years. Majik, he's been a platform artist, not only a platform artist, he works on television and film. He's designed over 32 shows. We got Miss Bowman here. She works on everything, period, from The Color Purple to the Emancipation to the piano lesson. I mean, my girl is doing all period. So we love her for that. Then we got, last but not least, Miss Demi Dixon. She is just everything. She's a helpmate. She also does a lot of work in the community with her girls group, as well as department heading a lot of television and film. So we're gonna jump right in. Majik, how do you feel about the state of the beauty industry right now? Like, from the beginning, let's just start from the beginning. What do you think changed from now to then?
That's so loaded. All I can speak of is my experience. I came up in the late 90s when we were doing nothing but hair.
Real hair.
And I miss that. We were just having a conversation beforehand. You know, like, I miss the salon experience. Like, my salon family was my family. Like, I mean, because you spend more time with them than you did with anybody. And we sharpened each other.
Iron sharpens iron.
And I don't think like a lot of stylists today really get that experience anymore, because we are in this whole sweet
boss
culture. Everybody wants to say they own a salon when they own 4x4 closet. Just to say that I'm the owner.
Yeah.
And it has gotten lost in what, like, just the salon experience was. People enjoyed coming to the salon because they knew Miss Margaret's appointment time was the same as hers, and that's where they met at every week.
Yeah, community.
And yes, even though they went to different stylists,
yes,
they were in the salon at the same time. But I miss doing hair.
Yeah, and I think not only does beauty professionals like us miss that, the consumers miss that. We're seeing a lot of people go on the internet and talk about different hairstylists in different states doing their own hair, and they're just like, where's the customer service?
That part.
So how do you guys feel about the customer service aspect, Miss Bowman?
Baby, let me tell you, I've been in TV and film for 17 years. And I did 20 in the salon. And being out of the pocket, as far as salon world is, it shifted. And just so casually on the internet, hearing that they're making people come with their hair shampooed, blowed out, and everything. Yeah. And I was like, are you serious? How do you even know the integrity of the hair to even be able to style it? How are you going to be able to instruct people on what they need to do? They're with their hair more than you are.
Yeah.
They can come every week, but they're with their hair 24/7. So that's something that I prided for, being in a salon, being able to walk my clients, which was my family, my extended family, to a service to be able to not just enhance them in the salon, but be able to go with them every day.
Yeah.
It's crazy what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Reckless, really.
Really reckless. From the autonomy of hair to our skin, you're not even knowing you're transferring products, transferring bacteria. It's horrible right now. So from me to you, please bring back washing and shampooing hair. Please bring back shampoo and hair. Miss Crystal Wright, from your standpoint, on the other side, how do you feel like coming out of the salon world and going to only sweet worlds for the beauty professional has changed? The stylist is not learning community skills, learning how to deal with a lot of variety of people because they're only in a suite by themselves. So I want to know, has that affected the beauty professional from your standpoint? And it may have not. It may have not.
Well, it's interesting this transition from artists working in salons with what you guys were talking about, all of that community, to being by themselves. And there's an isolation that is limiting their ability to learn from other people, which is a huge thing as a hairstylist. That not only are you able to learn from other people, but being around other people, especially in the beginning of your career, helps you with problem solving. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a salon where a stylist was doing something and a more seasoned stylist walked over and said, let me help you with that. One of the ways you might want to do this is X. And I think they're really missing out on all of the senior artists who have the experience and the ability to share with them to help them problem solve through their own client experiences.
Awesome. So with that being said, Demi, how does the concept of beauty change from generation to generation? Do you think that has something to do with it? Is it because a lot of people like to say the Gen Zs, the millennials, they did it this way, they did it that way. So do you think that has an effect on it? Like maybe I can do it better than grandmama did, or faster, quicker?
Well, I think all those things together have an effect on it because we do need the next generation. And I can say that from a standpoint of my children being second generation beauty professionals now. It was the grooming part that everybody went in a direction for as far as the suite goes and things like that. And no one groomed the up and coming artist. So there was no artist development, no grooming. So they went on their own. And I can say that I remember when I saw YouTube taking over in the hair business, I said, okay, the internet is about to start happening now, because YouTube, people were literally leaving the salon, coming back, telling you what they saw on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that had to be more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's where I said this thing has to happen now. We have to start taking the students and putting them in spaces that they can be around other artists and hairstylists and beyond, even business owners. Sometimes you may not take away a skill, but you may take away a business nugget that you didn't know that you needed, being around other successful business owners. So I think it's more than being a hairstylist, because for me, I always considered myself more of a business owner. Even as a hairstylist, I was an owner operator, but my genre was business, because I prided on making sure that the stylist in my salon kept up on their taxes and things of that nature. Now you just got a group of people, whether they be Gen Zs, millennials, all of the above, going to the internet for their professional resources, as opposed to having an accountant, having a real live mentor in person, So I think the next generation, they might have the skill set down, but they don't have the experience that the, for mothers and fathers like we are. I'm 28 years in the industry now, and I still love it just like I started yesterday.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm solution based. So I create solutions where I see problems. Okay, I see where it starts at in the school. I'm going to go attach myself to students because this is where they need to start.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So you mentioned YouTube University. How do you guys feel about YouTube University? Because some people like it, and we can feel a way, but we might go to YouTube University. So
It's a resource.
Yeah.
Yep,
It's
like
a
you just
resource
said.
for research.
Because for me, information is key. Because it's not always what you need to learn. Sometimes you learn what not to do as well. So those things are able to skill you in certain things. Being that you're open to be able to have that personal experience of different things that people learn, sometimes by their trial and error, sometimes from another class that you may not have been able to have an opportunity to take, and give those different types of sidebars. That I tell people that all the time, because you can be right next to somebody in a salon teaching you wrong as well. So it's just about understanding your craft in itself, going back to resources that you know that are very vital and that's true, especially like our cosmetology books and different techniques and stuff like that. But see, a lot of people don't even know that part of it because they're doing so much because of the influence of social media and YouTube University. They think that it's just freelancing and just grab it how you do, but it's a structure and a technique. Our industry is very structured based, especially coming from beauty school to where I am now. If I didn't have those fundamental steps, I don't think I would be as strong of an artist that I am now. But coming from a background, my mother's a school teacher, understanding how vital knowledge is and understanding things that you can and shouldn't do, it makes the difference.
Okay. I want to. Yes.
Can I jump in? Because from the very beginning, when YouTube started, what I recognized was that hairstylists in the salon and makeup artists were missing a huge opportunity with YouTube, because instead of recognizing that it was an opportunity to talk about aspects of their business and promote their businesses at the same time, many artists sat back, well, I'm not going to do that. And they don't know what they're talking about. But the thing is, what the artists missed out on was that the consumers did not know whether the people knew what they were talking about or not. The consumer was looking for information that nobody was giving them. And I am a prime example. Even though I represented makeup artists and hairstylists for over 20 years, I never, ever had a makeup artist give me a tip on how to put on my mascara, how to do my lipstick, what to do with my foundation, or a hairstylist tell me what to do with my hair unless I went to the salon. And I think the opportunity that was missed while people had their hands on their hips talking about they didn't like it, that they didn't recognize that they did not have to give away the ship. They did not have to give away everything in the recipe in order to entice people. And they also did not understand how to turn that around at the end with their branding and their messaging to get people to then call them and say, you're the stylist I've been looking for. And so the people who didn't know but were just doing their hair at home took an opportunity to just share. Don't forget that when those people first started doing it, they didn't know they were going to end up with 3 million followers.
Yeah.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
I know.
And instead of the hairstylists and the makeup artists who were the experts, who could have probably increased their business by millions, they sat back and waited and let a lot of other people take over.
Yeah.
Because I know I missed it, because at that point I was in the salon and I had a full book. And I mean, like, I know with Instagram and YouTube, I was like, no, because I'm tired of telling people no. I don't want to tell them. And so I missed that opportunity to be on those platforms, because I just saw it as me I didn't understand it at that time. And I didn't want to have to tell anyone else no. I didn't want to have to feel any more no's. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm booked all the way out now.
Right.
Yeah.
And our generation, we were on the social media outlets came when we were coming outside of the salon environment. And in my own experiences being, from the South, there, in a lot of salons, you have secret keepers where, not even that, they don't tell their stylists or their clients what they were using.
Oh, yeah.
So nobody knew. And, I remember there was a time for that. So, for me, when I started grooming and training my children who, are now those internet sensation stylists, I was like, well, help me. because we was kind of on the end of that when we was coming out of the salon, I think. Yeah. But she's so right that we didn't give our expert advice. But I would like to say this. In 2002, you came to Atlanta. I'm Demetrius Dixon, and you had this workshop, Crystal Wright's hair and makeup workshop, and you were the first one. I lived in Columbus, Georgia, and I said, I want to do celebrity hair, and you said, well, where do you live? And I said, I live in Columbus, Georgia, and you said, are there any celebrities there? I said, no, and you said, well, you need to move, and I moved. I've been here ever since.
Like that's something?
Right.
Over 20 years later, I'm 17 years in the film industry. You were the first class I took, and that was in 2002 in Atlanta, Georgia.
See?
Amazing.
Classes.
Goodness, I love that. Wow. Well, it's funny you said that because there were so many people that have walked up to me that said, I said something crazy to them. And I just go, oh my God. And then they say what you said. And I did it and it worked. I'm like,
yeah, it worked.
This information is power.
Yes.
Yes. And that brings us to her book. For me, this is the beauty industry Bible. For me, when I started seeking out the different areas of the beauty industry, I went and got this book, and it's just the Bible. It tells you about agencies, not only agencies, how to talk to these people, how to structure your business, how to structure a cover letter, how to structure what a call sheet looks like literally everything. And it encompasses over those 20 years. And she speaks from the point of view of getting the job and selling yourself. You want to add to anything about that?
well, I always say reading is fundamental.
Amen. And it's true.
I've never had anybody get that book and say this wasn't worth it, because I wanted to empower artists. I realized that when I had my agency in Los Angeles, and even when I was doing my classes, I was only still going to be able to reach so many people. And the idea of that book was to reach people in places like Conyers, Georgia, or some little town in Iowa where artists saw themselves as having an opportunity to get bigger, but they just didn't have the information. I put everything I could in that book. The darn thing is already 2 pounds.
And you done revised it 1,000,000 times, which I love, because we're in an ever-changing field. And that goes to show somebody that cares about our industry, and it growing. So it's revised and it's up to date. So if you guys, a lot of guys like to jump in DMs, which is good and cool, but just getting this book and reading and knowing how to structure a resume if you need that, how to structure a portfolio if you need that, how to structure a reel. Before reels were real, we were having reels to demonstrate our work. So, and that's what a seasoned person on like commercial, television, and film and things like that have, and it's all in this book. So I just tell everybody to get this book. I mean, you can jump in the DM, but get the book too.
Have the book first.
The book
The book first.
Right.
And read it.
Right.
And apply.
Please apply it.
Yes, and that's the thing. A lot of times people get that book, and when they get it, because it just looks like a little book on Amazon, they get it and it's so big. And instead of just opening it up to find out that it sounds like me talking right now, they get intimidated by the size of the book. And the thing is to get it and read it from the beginning to the end. A lot of times a hairstylist will say, oh, I'm only going to read the stuff about hair and makeup artists. And they miss the opportunity to learn that the fashion stylist or the costume designer who gets called into the job before they're even thinking about you a lot of times, right? Yes. Weeks or even months in advance, that you need to be making friends with that person. If you meet them, you need to be building a relationship, because a lot of times the costume designer, the costumer, or the stylist gets asked ahead of time, hey, do you have any ideas for who would be great for this job? So if you don't read about the fashion stylist in the book, you don't know that that is your industry influencer.
And the open door policy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So how do you guys feel about relationships and the connections, networking? A lot of people like to say it. I know everybody that's listening probably like, how do I contact Mona B? How do I get the Majik? Like, what is a right protocol or a wrong protocol to you guys when it comes to reaching out or contacting someone?
Well, I would say for me, I'm very approachable because I just feel like if you don't allow people to contact you, you're not going to be able to learn new people. Some people don't like you to jump in their DM. Some people get offended. I just feel like because this is a new chain of things of how we use things, I feel like that's a good way for me to be able to, especially being in a position that I am now, to be able to hire people and or to even refer people, because people call me for all departments at this point in my career, because they know one thing about me. I'm honest. I love everybody, but if your Kool-Aid ain't real Kool-Aid, I'm gonna tell you your Kool-Aid ain't real Kool-Aid. If it's even if it's my mother, but because it's very serious about the work. If the work is not done, then everybody will be affected.
Oh, relationships. That's what we're talking about.
Before we got
Relationships,
cut off.
relationships, and how it's important for us to have in our industry and our take on it. Like,
We will jump into me. Relationships are tantamount to what we do. Like knowing who is where and who can do what even. And you were saying about me, I'm one of the most approachable people out there. You know, like I don't meet no strangers. I'm the same every day, and it's good to know that I can call Demi to find a braider in Columbus.
yeah.
Because so you call your people, they have that's their wheelhouse. And so it's very important to know people. You can't really be in a shell and be successful in this industry. You can't be separated from everyone and think that you're going to experience success.
Right. So, how do you feel like people should reach out to other people, Miss Wright? I know that the culture has changed to DMs. So, do you feel like it's a certain script people need to write with DMs? You still need to take the professional avenue, or do you feel like people still should not do DMs?
Well, I don't think that we have a choice about DMs anymore. I think it's just a fact of life, but I also believe that professionalism is a real thing.
Yes.
And if you are a young hairstylist and you're reaching out to somebody that's your age, then probably the way you talk to them won't bother them at all. But if you are a young stylist and you're reaching out to somebody that's 10 years older than you or more, and your DM is full of misspellings, abbreviations that I have to look up on Google to find out what they mean, you are a wrap.
Yeah.
Right.
Show right.
The other thing I would say, to piggyback on what you guys were talking about, and I'm sure you'll all agree, your network is your net worth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I'll tell you something Rennie Vasquez, the makeup artist, said, relationships are not microwavable.
You can't reheat them.
Are built on trust, and trust is built over time.
That was.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
I was.
You think that because you reached out to me one time, that now we're besties?
Yes.
Nah.
Yes. Let's
Proven nothing to me by reaching out to me. So if you want something from me, present yourself professionally. And my experience is that a lot of young artists think that just showing up on time is professionalism.
It's not just the young ones. And it's not just the young ones.
speak on it.
I wanted to say to your point of it takes time. That is exactly what I wanted to share. Relationships are built over time, whether they be friendship relationships, romantic relationship, or professional relationship. Because we meet each other and we hit it off, does not mean that we have a friendship. It takes a couple of more coffee meetings, maybe a few lunch meetings, because we have to be able to see people in different stages because our reputation, our work ethic, there are so many other things that play a part in whether or not this relationship is even reciprocated.
Yeah.
Because most of the times people come to you with not the intention of building a relationship, but with the intention of getting something.
Yes.
So in relationship, you learn people's motive.
Yeah.
And so I always tell people that I educate, I'm using, right now, I'm building off of relationships that I met people 15 years ago. And now those relationships come into fruition now because there was a time when it took people a long period of time to call you after meeting you and building with you. So I just think, like you said, things are so microwave. You have to build a trust factor. You have to even, learn people's way of, and see if that even aligns with where you going.
Yes.
So there's so many other factors than, you coming into my DM. Then I'm going to connect you to a class, whether by me or any of my colleagues. All of these people right here teach the same. We all teach classes on these things because it's ways now outside of just, you have to build a relationship. But before this relationship happens, education and knowledge have to happen. The same way you're on the internet, in my DM, Google some things that you need to know about professionalism, customer service, how to handle people in general.
Yep. So, guys, I want you to hear us loud because a lot of y'all jump in people DMs and think people being rude, ignoring you, don't like you. You can't talk to them. That be far from the case.
Correct.
Far from the case. It's just you want people around you that can get the job done. And how do you know that without spending time and getting to know that person? So you have to learn to cultivate these relationships. So cultivate is the word of the day. Okay?
I like that. Cultivate.
Yeah, cultivate. Right. So how do we feel that the social media world has impacted the beauty world?
Oh, tremendously. It has affected tremendously because we're visual creatures, first of all, and our attention spans as human beings have already been proven how if you ain't got it in their face like this, we'll disregard because of this microwave system that we have been pushed upon us. It has affected it a lot.
Negatively or positively?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Yeah, I would say both. Because, I've literally gotten business from social media.
Yes.
And I've given business through social media, but I don't just go to social media looking for business. And that's, a lot of people use it for that. And another thing I'm going to say this. To the new generation of hairstylists who use the sites, the booking sites and everything, like when I go to Facebook or any other site, those aren't the times to start telling potential clients all about your rules and regulations, because now you've turned someone like me off because I don't specifically know your rules and regulations until you post them. So let's use platforms like email marketing, text message marketing, so that we can directly speak to the audience that we want to speak to.
Okay, we got to speak on the rules that y'all girls got to have. And I see Crystal ready to chime in. So, Crystal, let's talk about the rules.
I hear people all the time how they use social media, but they don't have a website because they think a website is something that people used to have 10 years ago. But the truth is, having a website is the perfect opportunity to have a page, normally called FAQ, your fact, where you can explain to people exactly how you run your business, what is expected. And it doesn't have to be a multitude of pages, but that is the place to tell people what your rules and regulations are. because I don't think a lot of these artists that are putting those rules out there, it's basically like this. You're standing with your hands on your hips and you're saying, well, you just gotta listen to me. That's what it's like. It's like,
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
That's definitely how I feel.
Yeah.
you will never know how many people you turned off by doing it that way.
Yes.
What happens is you start to experience what I call the law of diminishing returns. You make less money in 2024 than you did in 2023, and you make less money in 2025 than you did in 2024 because you think that because some celebrity can yell at people and it doesn't make a big deal, that you can do it too. Okay, let me know how that's working out for you.
Right, so people you hear, it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
That goes back to relationship.
You can have rules and you can set frequently asked questions, but having a page on your website, your professional website, is the real avenue to have stuff like that.
Yeah.
It is not you know, almost browbeating your clients or potential clients, because it's come to the fact where everyone's like, hairstylists are rude. And you guys forget that we are in a service-based
Yes.
industry.
Come on, say that again.
We're in a service-based industry.
Thank
This
you.
is not, you're not the celebrity people. Let's talk about it.
No.
No.
You hairstylists think you guys are the celebrities these days.
And I hate celebrities.
You're serving
Oh,
people who are helping you to live this lifestyle that you're dreaming or trying to obtain.
Everybody a celebrity.
Yes.
in my
When they're paying their money.
The client is the boss.
You get me? They are. That's how it goes.
Because we're trying to obtain their resources to us.
Yeah.
So you need
And I
to
think
serve
we
with
need to
honor
get back to
and
that
grace.
point where we have a system that hopefully, I don't know how I hope this hits millions. That way, I feel like everyone that is in a position need to grab a hold to the next young person that needs just a little bit of time on the weekend to be groomed in order for us to actually put this in motion. So if everybody sits back with their hands back and, you know, we not do anything, guys, like she said, you're going to diminish your money over the years. You're going to find yourself getting a part-time job.
Yes.
Diminishing your money. Let's talk about how they're trying to this. You want to say something, Crystal?
Oh, no, she said yes.
Oh, how they want to diminish us. Okay, how they are trying to diminish us in the state of Georgia and take away the license.
Texas. It's
Texas, it's across the board. It's the United States of America. Okay, and it's so a misfortune that they're doing this to us. Not only a misfortune to us, but to the consumers and the clients. From everything about hair that we know, from the anatomy. I mean, it's just so much. So, Ms. Bowman, you want to speak a little bit more on that?
Oh, gosh.
That's all us want a piece of this.
We all do. Well, for me, taking away having a structured way to educate and to train and to enlighten people on the concept even of hair, how it's run, how it operates, sanitation, chemicals. There's so much that goes on with hair. For instance, my son's girlfriend, she is a YouTube university student. And when she come to me, my son was like, Mama, I want you to get her in the industry. I said, sweetie, is she licensed? And he said, oh, well, no, she does. Sweetie, is she licensed? Oh, no. Yes, you need to be licensed, first of all, because first of all, that's your first part of your foundation. And if you don't have that foundation, you're going to be lost and tossed around because you don't even understand, like, people have lice in their hair, people have dirty hair, they have dirty implements, all these different things that you can pass on to people that people don't even understand in this house beauticians that are passing on different things. It's very vital that you understand that. So for me, it's a disservice to customers. It's disservice to the hairstylists in themselves. It's a disservice to the industry in itself, because we were built back then on those foundations, because it was a reason. It's a scientific fact of why they did what they did. Even with the curling and the different techniques that I'm having to teach stylists that's been in the industry in my classes, and I'm just teaching film and TV classes, but it's so crazy that a lot of them don't even know basic curling techniques.
On base.
They'll have, you say that, it's like you talking to you speaking a foreign language. And these are basic fundamentals that you should know as a hairstylist, but they're even taking a little bit in pieces. And I feel like it's an agenda, me, myself, to weaken certain things. And because of culturally a diversity of certain things, that's just Mona B. But I just feel like, yeah, it's a disservice. And I think that everybody should go and make their mark and vote, because across the board, if you're a consumer or if you're a hairstylist, you're going to be affected by it.
So please vote. You can go to your cities. You can go to your council meetings, and you guys can
And
vote.
I would like to add to that, guys. So, master cosmetologist is a diploma or certificate craft that you take. You have to have 1,500 hours of theory and practical to obtain a license in the state of Georgia. I'll say this: in the history of cosmetology, barbering, and beauty, there was a time, I think it was the 1800s, where they actually called barbers surgeons.
Yes,
Because of the type of precision work that we have to do, because of the things that we are exposed to as human beings, the chemicals that we are exposed to, it's more vital and important to gain a license to do that. The same way nurses go to the state board to get their nursing license. State board. Who else goes to state board? All these other people.
Everybody, electricians, plumbers.
Yes.
We can go down.
State board, but all of a sudden they want to take away our field because they can't regulate our money yet. So
Speak.
Now you're talking.
That's why I said
Child, we're gonna get council before we get on.
When they can't regulate your money, they take your power away. And our power, even though as a culture, I don't know about them, but I started out as an unlicensed cosmetologist, but it was in me to be educated.
Yes.
So I took that a step further than being just a good hairstylist. I've had this post argued with me, and I delete every argument because I'm not arguing about my opinion on my post.
Oh yeah.
So what I'll say to the ones who feel like, oh, people been styling hair and doing hair without license, and they've been wrong.
So you been wrong. I hope you hit it.
Now I'm gonna give you
You wrong.
I'm gonna give you a completely different viewpoint. Now I ain't always just sung in the church choir. I am, and I'm proud to be a convicted felon, reformed. When I got out of prison, I did 7 years in the penal institution. When I got out, I went to cosmetology school. I had to sit before the board for them to allow me to get my license because I was a felon. When I got that license, the empowerment that gave me, that I had now mastered the art that I could become a business. And fast forward 17 years past, when I got out, have done more than almost anybody that was in my family that I grew up with. Like have walked in rooms I would have never thought I would have walked in. So that's why that license is important and what it can do for someone, for their self-esteem. Because I mean, like when you are empowered, it will allow you to make moves that you could not otherwise make. So I say that license is not something to be frowned upon. And that's just that. That's my story.
Miss Crystal, do you have a opinion about our license being taken away from us?
Well, here's what I have to say. I'm not going to talk about exactly the license being taken away from you. What I'm going to say is this is a political challenge. This is a legal challenge. This requires lobbying. It requires organization, because that is going to be the only way to change the system. talking to these stylists out here who want to be able to do hair without getting a license, that's not it. What is going to be required is that sending out letters, getting signatures, presenting them to the board, presenting it to the lawmakers. That is how you are going to keep this structure the way it is. Because it's like, who are you talking to? It's like, have you written a letter? Have you created a letter? It's like if you go to something like, I get stuff every single day from the Democratic National Convention.
Yes.
I get letters from them talking to me about certain politicians, asking me to take a survey. The question is, where is that happening in the beauty industry, and who's going to take charge of making it happen?
Yeah, no, you're right. And I wanted to add to that because it starts in the beauty schools.
What you need is a lobbyist who's working in your favor to maintain the status quo, and that takes money. So if every stylist who's making money puts in $1,000, you probably have $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 that you could use to do what you need to do at the political level to get this thing the way that you want it. That's what because it's politics, process, system, and organizing. That's my 2 cents.
Get the community back. Come into the salons. And if we was in the salon right now, we all would have been ready to lobby and get it together because y'all want them sweet so bad.
But you can still lobby. We have a petition at the beauty school, Atlanta Barber Institute, located at Greenbrier Mall. We are asking licensed professional hairstylists to come out, sign the petition so that we can move forward. And this is a few different beauty and barber institutions have gotten together to do this. So if you are out and about, I think we should create something like online.
I was just about to say, I will put a link so you can go online because the people swear they can't come out their house.
They do.
Because they be online.
They be online.
Okay, so I want to talk about now the whole thing with the celebrity hairstylist, the actual title of being a celebrity hairstylist, because we're seeing the rise of, celebrity hairstylists and everyone's bio talking about them. So Majik, celebrity hairstylist.
I must say this.
Because you are a celebrity hairstylist.
And I loathe that title. This is why. If you are my client and you are paying me for a service, you get the same service that anyone gets. Yeah. So you are all a celebrity to me because that is the service that I supply. Now, I get that it's because you have done someone who is a celebrity. Now, I personally do not feel like if you do 1 or 2 people who are a celebrity, that at that point, that makes you a celebrity hairstylist. You're just a stylist who has done a celebrity.
Or 2.
Now, yeah, or 2. Now, in my history, you can pull up celebrities and 20 out of the 30 pictures that you see, I have done. So I know that does qualify me as a celebrity hairstylist, but that is not my totality, and I hate that. And if people feel like that gives them more clout above someone else,
it is.
and it doesn't, because that doesn't even make you a better stylist for real. Someone who has never done a stylist can do circles around me. I mean, never done a celebrity can do circles around me, and I stand to learn from them. So why would I ever exalt myself above them? So that's just my take on celebrity hairstylists. Okay. Jump on in, one of y'all.
Well, for me, I don't consider myself a celebrity hairstylist because of what you just said.
Okay.
First of all, even in the street, I told somebody this just yesterday. You're somebody's hairstylist when that particular client accepts you as their stylist. First of all, it's their choice. For me, I'm a hair designer because I design looks for TV and film, which is part of the character development or whatever script or production that I'm on. So you will never see that on my resume because everybody that's a part of this production is a celebrity at this point. So for me, even when I get called to do side things, that's a side job. I am not considered their hairstylist. There are people that go with these people that ride or die, that's been with them, like Fantasia. She has her young man that's been with her before she even won Idol. I consider him a celebrity hairstylist because he's a part of her group. For me to have a job, to get called out for a job, that does not make me a celebrity hairstylist. You feel me? So I'm a hair designer. I design looks for TV and film. That's where I'm at now. So I don't really, because most people don't really they get an opportunity to do a celebrity, but they're not really doing celebrities.
Okay. And I'll say this, because I'm in Majik's position. You can check out my resume and all my credentials. The people changed the term. We didn't consider ourselves like Majik. I've been, all my clients are celebrities because all the money in the service is the same. But what I have been is a personal hairstylist to celebrities, which means that I've traveled with them. We've gotten on the plane together.
And I don't mean to interrupt people. I just want to let the people know that's the correct terminology. Okay, people? And if you was to read a book like Crystal writes, you will all know that. You got all made up celebrity hairstylists. So,
like I say, this is my 17th year in the film and television industry as a hairstylist. I am in my 5th year as a hair department head, and like Mona, I'm a hair designer. I design looks and I give it to my team to implement so that the TV shows and the films that you see, those are looks that are designed by hairstylists just like us. And outside of that, I hair department head film and television shows. But when it comes down to calling myself a celebrity hairstylist, I feel like that's like a term that people made up. Because sometimes, being a personal hairstylist to someone that's not on TV, but still make a lot of money and take you all over the world, it's very, very similar to being a celebrity hairstylist, except for you may not know that person.
You may not know that person, but they got a budget that don't stop.
They have a budget.
And I love budgets that don't stop.
Bango Pinocchio.
That's what I love. I love the budget.
And also, I'm gonna put a little plug in there for my book. It's on Amazon. It's called From the Salon to Behind the Scenes, written by Demi Dixon. And it's a very short read, but it's quick and to the point, and it'll tell you all about these things.
Because the truth is, first time I was on the jet, it wasn't because of somebody who was a celebrity. It was because of somebody who had a check.
That's it.
And you have to respect the client.
Because these people don't have a million
right,
followers.
that's it.
Because it's about the
There are
respect of
people
the
on the
client.
internet with very few followers, but they have so much money they can fly you everywhere any time of the day. And if that makes me a celebrity hairstylist, I guess hey.
Because everybody's definition is what it is.
Let me piggyback on what Demi just said, because that little segment right there was very important, not just for the people who hire you that don't have a lot of followers, but actually stylists themselves. I know a lot of stylists who don't have more than 3,000 or 4,000 followers, but have been making in the upper 6 figures for a very long time.
Yes.
Followers are not dollars.
No.
That's good.
Word.
A word.
Followers are not dollars, people.
Followers are not dollars. And in fact, one of my coaching clients had referred a young lady to me who was a YouTube makeup artist. She had over 200,000 followers, and she was only making $125 a face.
Yeah, it happens.
Right? So all of those followers were not generating dollars for her, and because she didn't have the business part down, she didn't know how to ask for more money. Wasn't comfortable with asking for more money, which is directly related to confidence.
Huh?
Yes.
She didn't have the paperwork that she needed, some of the things that are in the book to understand what you needed to send to people to get them to commit to you. And even she would drive 150 miles to do somebody's face, and she wasn't even getting mileage.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Wow.
But
But
Travis,
if you don't know, you
that
don't
know.
come from
Yep.
not having a mentor.
Yep.
Or not going to a simple class that might cost you $1,000
Yep.
for your
Gotta
your
invest in
career.
your
For your
craft.
career. You got to
have
invest
to.
in you.
One class.
Education is
And that's another thing, because I wrote down shiny objects. Young people are easily seduced by shiny objects and words like celebrity stylist,
Yes.
so that they're not looking for the credentials. I can't tell you how many people have come to me after they overspent on a class or more than one class, and they said, well, every time I spent money with them, basically they just said, if you take my next class, if you take my next class, if you take my next class. And for as long as I was doing the Packaging Your Portfolio Workshop Live, I would always say, I'm gonna leave it all here for you. Because there was no other class.
exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
When you
Yeah.
come to class, this class.
You need to read that book, take this class, and you should be good. And a lot of times artists that have taken my class come back to me and I'm like, where are your notes?
So most of them don't even
They don't even
They don't
Where
even
are
apply
your
it.
notes? Because I'm not getting ready to tell you anything new. What I'm going to tell you is to go back and read the notes you took when you were in class and implement it, and you will be just fine.
Right. So guys, with you with the rise of influencers in our industry, how do we feel about jobs now asking us how many followers do we have?
Oh, I've never had that.
That is a thing
Oh yeah.
in our industry.
Because I
Yeah.
let my work speak for me. So,
Now, I haven't had,
The new companies are asking that now.
Oh, see, I mean,
oh,
yeah, I
now,
didn't know
like
that.
for brand ambassadorships and stuff like that.
Companies are
Yeah.
asking that now.
Now, I can
Oh
get
no,
that.
yeah, you're right.
Companies are
I
asking
had
that.
a
Oh,
PR
wow.
company that
Yeah.
wanted to. They came to me, but then they wanted to know all of my followers and things like that. And then they even asked me to pay them even after coming to me. So that is a time when they were concerned about my followers and all that.
I
Okay.
never heard that.
Now, I know, like brand ambassadorships, when you are as a person are seeking to and have these companies endorse you. They want to know what their output is going to be like, what their reach is going to be. So that I can understand.
I understand that.
They want to know how many people that they're going to touch. And I say, so that's why, those followers for those type of instances matter. Grateful that I have not been in a position where that has mattered.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So God is good for me on that.
And that goes back to, like, for me, is the relationships that I've developed over the years that have put me in that position to where I didn't I don't think that's why it have affected me because of that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's that foundation that we're talking about, building as a beauty professional, just building your foundation education wise, meeting people, being a nice person.
Oh, we
You
don't
cannot
talk
fake
about that.
being nice. You cannot fake being genuine. So find it in your heart.
Work
I was
on
going
you.
to say that a lot of times character building plays a huge part in where you elevate to and who you networking with. You have to learn who you are so that you know when you get in rooms with successful people, how these people move. And sometimes if you have character, we all have character flaws, but if you late everywhere you go, work on that first before you approach me. Or if you know that you have a problem cursing too much, work on that before you step in certain rooms. Those are things that you need to learn that goes along with relationship building. It's you, your mindset, your character, your personality traits, the ability to adapt. If you know that you like to sleep in and don't want to go to work at 12 o'clock every day, and you see people like us that are moving and shaking at 5 and 6 in the morning, work on things
Four in
that
the morning.
you need to work on first, because it just looks like people are not interested in you when it's not the case. We really just don't have time in the positions that we're in
to teach you
to start
from the bottom, that ground level.
At that level. Yeah,
because I can say for me,
character development is a number one thing before relationship building. And if you don't have a spiritual sister or a church sister or a friend or somebody who can be real with you about your character, then you probably in the wrong room anyway. You'll start networking more.
Because like for me, I will hire somebody that has no set experience, no nothing, basic understanding of hairstyling, have a great attitude. You can be on my team because you're teachable.
I was gonna say,
but if you can be the best hairstylist, whip, but you have a stank attitude, girl, bye. I'm telling you now, you're gonna be the first. You're gonna be the first one out of the door because I can't teach you. And every set that I am on, if you're not open to follow my 1:17:42. Please don't add 6 and 7 in there because it's a reason why I didn't add 6 and 7. Because a lot of times people come, that's my biggest pet peeve, following directions, following instructions. Do not add because I'm a fabulous artist. I can do whatever I want to do. But it's a strategic reason why, and that's character development.
That's it. I said that for a reason. Yeah. Just do what I asked you to do. And when I come on your show, I promise I'll do what you asked me to do.
Oh, yes, sir.
That's it. That's my thing. I promise I will.
Every time. Because I also do background. I department head, I key, I'm third, I'm 15. However, I understand following instructions is so vital to any job, even if you're doing freelance work. It's a reason. And follow through is everything.
Right.
Professionalism and set etiquette, Demi.
Oh, I want to also, before I talk about that, because I can go all year about that, but I'll say what Mona said. What you just said at the end, Mona? You was like,
the follow through.
Well, I'll talk about professionalism and etiquette. What I would say is this: whatever you're doing, where you are in your life, you're going to take it to the next level of your life. So if you unprofessional in the salon behind the chair, you're going to be unprofessional on set. And so that goes to what we said, character development. Groom yourself. Put yourself around people that will help you and don't mind giving you constructive criticism. I can't say that word no more because, people get offended by constructive criticism.
That's crazy.
But I will say this, that, in our times of coming up through the industry, whether it be film, television, because I'll say this, I'm not exclusive to film and television. I work behind the scenes as a hair designer. So which means that I can go and be an additional, or I can go and be the lead.
Right.
You have to learn in this world, in this beauty industry, to know how to do all the jobs.
Yes.
If you're in the salon, learn how to be the receptionist, be the shampoo assistant. If you're behind the scenes, learn how to do the background, because that's going to give you...
You gotta know how to do the bottom to do
You
the top.
have to. So
great
that
leaders,
was what I wanted to say.
Great leaders,
You have
to know how to follow.
Yes.
Because you know who you are. You know who you are in your position.
And the title doesn't matter.
Doesn't dictate or validate who you are.
Exactly.
Right.
So more than anything, I enjoy being a mother and a wife.
Yeah.
As well as my career. So that's just knowing who I am. And I'm going to take that person in every avenue of my life because whether or not people want to believe it, personal and business do mix.
Yes, it does.
Because if my personality don't mix with yours, we can't even do good business.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
you have to know that.
You have to know
You pay
that.
somebody 15 hours a day.
And
15.
And it affects everything. Because even for me, when I take a job on a production, when they call me, I read the script, I find out what's it. Then when I find out who's attached, I'm already praying, Lord, show me who it is. I evaluate not only your skill set, I also evaluate your personality.
Yes.
It matters as well, because some people that I know that have been like certain actors I have reoccurred and worked with. I know this person don't like a lot of energy. So I'm not finna hire a key that's a lot of energy if they're the number one. Because guess what? It's gonna frustrate my main actor. So I had to find somebody that's capable even with the hairstyling, but now I have to see somebody with a meek, humble temperament, because that matters as well as being a leader. That's why you have to learn every aspect of this business to be able to know how it flow and have a trailer where they come at the end of the production and say, you know what, I want to hire you and your team again on my next production, because all of that matters. So that's why when old school say your attitude determines your altitude, it is, baby, work on you and be honest with you, because you could get a great job and have a bad attitude and lose that opportunity that's connected to like 15 more opportunities.
Yeah.
So be very mindful of that.
Humble. Be humble.
Humble.
Humility.
Yes. It goes a long way. Like,
Yes.
Mindset is key. Yes.
Yes.
So, guys, we're going to open up the floor to a couple questions. If anybody got any questions.
So this question is for you.
Yes.
Okay, so we were talking a lot about social media influencers along the lines of that. So by you working with a lot of major actors and actresses, I've heard that you've worked with like Michael B. Jordan, Will Smith, Regina King, Jamie Foxx, the list goes on and on, right? So those are like highly trained actors, like y'all are highly trained hairstylists. So how would you compare the rapper slash actress component to the social media hairstylist to professional hairstylist component? Do you see any similarities between the two?
Well, I would say it's all across the board the same. It's the industry. A lot of times it's associated because certain people have a value of A-list actors, B-list actors, C-list actors. Some people separate the rapper from the R&B singer. But now, if you notice, that's why you see so many actors that are rappers that are actors as well now. So for me, it's across the board. It's about professionalism in itself, that you have to treat it all accordingly for me, because I'm not going into a job saying that, oh, this is a rapper, he less than what this is. He's not an A-list actor like Will Smith or whatever. I'm going to govern myself accordingly because I am a professional, because I just got called for a music video in LA. They follow my work. It was something of a period standard. They know my value of what I can bring to the table. But going into this particular musician situation, they're going to get that same treatment as if it was Emancipation or Piano Lesson on that level. Because Jamie Foxx, for instance, he's a singer as well, but he's that actor as well. So I feel like as a professional hairstylist going into a situation where you're designing, you have to go in the aspect of what that script, what it allows you to do, what you need to bring to the table, and that's my motto for my production company. Let your work speak for you. And when you come in to do a job and hold yourself accountable for being able to produce what these people need, then that's going to be your ticket to your next situation as an opportunity to be able to present yourself for another job.
Yes.
Yeah, very
Yes, and I always say, work the room and not the job, people.
I think she got one too.
So you all work with a lot of high profile clients. So
Yeah, this Google check is not quite as stable as the other ones. But what I was going to say was basically, when you see this, everything you guys said, drop the mic. That's all.
Go ahead, what's your question?
so bringing new talent, let's say
All of that. Yeah.
you bring new talent to a set, what advice would you give to them to deal with like conflict on set? So set could be like 15 hours, celebrities can have, and they could be frustrated. How would you have them to deal with conflict? Because a lot of people, I think, feel like they're like above being talked to crazy, and that limits their growth in the industry.
Crystal, raise her hand.
Raise her hand, and I'll go next.
Okay.
I can go too.
One of the things I tell assistants, and if you're a second or third, whatever, you're an assistant.
You sure?
The beauty of assisting is being able to have the experience without being responsible for the outcome.
Yes.
And what that means is that when somebody, a celebrity or whomever, is acting out, the best thing the assistant can do is not respond.
Yeah.
Huh?
Find your key. Go find your key.
That's it.
You know what? I'll be right back.
Exactly.
Go get
Uh-huh.
the key
Yes.
Because only the key or the department head
Just about to say.
knows
The chain of command.
It's a chain of command.
That's it. Tell me. Look.
Exactly.
It is an opportunity to learn. That's my 2 cents.
Okay,
That's
Demi.
it. Well, I definitely always, I still do that myself. Hey, let me find someone for you.
Yeah.
And I go back to the prerequisite to obtaining new levels in your career. There's education and knowledge that's needed before you even get there, so that you will know that these things will arise. And now, these are things that you're able to like troubleshoot before you get to set. And so it happens every day. It's a chaotic environment. But to say what Miss Crystal said, go find somebody else that can help that situation, because when you're new in a room, you don't have the answers, to all the questions. So the best thing you can do is find the person that you need to find to take care of it.
And for me, I would say that's the same thing what they said is the end result. But that's why I encourage hairstylists to do at least a year in a salon before you come into TV and film, because even in your own personal setting, you're not going to please every client. And understanding how to be able to diffuse a problem is very vital. But in TV and film, if you're an assistant, like she said, definitely go to your key or your department head so they can be able to orchestrate, because there are certain protocols, because some people will take stuff out on you and has nothing to do with you. But at the end of the day, understanding that what other people had trying to project on you, do not allow that to attach to you, because a lot of times people get broken down because somebody else is having a bad day. Understand that you have to have thick skin in this business, because they will come for you sometimes. But when you understand that this is not personally attacking you, you don't take that with you. But as a professional, always go to that person that is at the top of the chain of command, so they can be able to push your to be able to understand what has taken place. Because a lot of times people assume that people know what's going on too. Being in a leadership position, I haven't heard certain things until the end of the day or 3 weeks later. Then they was like, such and such, and I'm like, why you didn't come and talk to me about it, so I can be able to make sure that this is not a problem continuing on. But you allowed yourself to be antagonized or told certain things without you having to do that. But I always explain at any show that I start, I always have that for people can understand the chain of command, because I don't assume no more. I used to always think that people knew, but I don't assume anymore, because sometimes people just don't know. And I like to reassure anybody that I entrust to come on my set, and I want them to know that they're protected, and I appreciate them coming to use their craft.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to read something, because in our teachings, we do get people that, sometimes don't know the value of the person they have. And I consider myself valuable, and I definitely am an asset to any room that I walk in. But so when people don't appreciate that as an assistant, then I let them go on about their business. But sometimes they go about their business and they have to circle back around. So here's a text message. Hi, Miss Demi. I've been thinking about you for a long time. God has been working in me, and I'm reaching out to you only to apologize for the way that I handled you. I have understood with time that the assignment was supposed to be, and I let my pride and ego sever our ties over too soon. Ever since I met you, God kept you in my spirit and has not let me rest, no matter the time gap. I love you, and I'm sincerely apologetic for the way that I treated you. Because you probably went to a situation that mishandled you.
Yeah.
And God will bring you right on back around to the person that, you didn't think more of. These people go to these people they think so highly of, because they're influencers and things of that nature, but they're not going to teach you anything.
Right.
I may take a little bit longer to hire you, because I want to make sure you have you're going to represent me to the fullest if I put you out there. Like anybody who has a budget, anybody who knows, I'm the queen of helping and putting people on. Now the stop sign came about last year, so in the end of the day, I said that because sometimes people don't know what they don't know.
They don't.
They don't even know what they don't know. So they go and have these experiences that say, Miss Demi taught me that. Miss Demi told me that. So I will never, and that's why I treat people good. I don't care how you treat me. I know how to just let you go.
Yeah.
Because the first thing you're gonna do when you get that experience that I told you about, you're gonna come back to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And it, thank you guys for all your input. I love having you guys give these people a deeper dive into the beauty industry. But I just wanted to add to that a lot of times when you go to these sets, it's just not about you. And we are beauty professionals, so we already have an ego. When you work on these sets, if you want to be at a high level of a hairstylist, the ego got to be left at the door. Don't nobody care. On set. We're all there for one common goal. and
Really
that's
at the salon too.
Yeah,
Calm down.
one. Just please calm down.
Calm down.
It's okay, people. So we want to stress
Relax.
that fact of,
That your
taking the
services-
ego out of
take
it.
ashwagandha.
It helps. A little
Because
tea
we're
in
in
the
the
morning.
service business.
Yeah, and
even
it's
on
okay. You just learn how to treat people and learn how to understand. That's where the salon life comes in, because we have our clients going through stuff every day. They come in, they sit in our chair, and they tell us that it's the same on set. So you got to make sure that you go in with a neutral stance, and
As fabulous as you are,
yeah,
you are the help.
you that girl.
But I might be the help with Cartier on, but I'm the help.
At the end of the day,
If
you are a servicer.
You are a service.
And it is amazing.
It is
I
amazing.
hope that you still
It's
love
definitely
it as much
well.
as we do serving people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love it.
I love it.
love serving people.
Me
Yeah,
too. That's
I
what
love being a help.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I love character development as well.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a TV fool.
I love it.
TV.
I love it.
Love film.
So to wrap it up, my sincerest gratitude to everyone on the panel,
Thank
Miss
you.
Crystal Wright,
This was
Demi,
amazing.
Adrian, Majik,
It was
like
great to see you in person after
Yeah.
all those years. You inspired me. Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Debbie talk about you all the time. I'm Mona that she always talk about.
Okay.
yes. You
Yes.
know how we all feel about you. I think
Yes.
if you're a real beauty professional that take your craft serious,
yes.
like over
Yes.
seriously, like you supposed
Got to know Crystal Wright.
You got to know Crystal Wright. You got
Absolutely.
to know Crystal Wright. So thank you guys for tuning in to episode 1 of Coffee, Tea, and Conversation with Kelli J.
Oh, we got to be the one.
What? You already know
Oh,
you
we got
got
to be the one.
And got the two. Pinky fingers. Pinky fingers.